Freaky late night edition Friday. How we doing, everybody? We are back. Your man, Sammy the Man McIntyre, with a late night edition with Moving the Chains podcast. Hope we're rocking, I hope we're rolling, hope we're barking at the moon like last night. Oh, like that Ozzy Osbourne introduction to Ravens, Dolphins last night in South Beach. God, that got me fired up. I got energy right now. We are rocking. We are rolling. Max Lawson, great win for your Ravens last night. The Raven Nation, Raven flock was on full display last night in Miami, where Lamar came back off the bench, off the schneid, and kicked their ass. It looked fantastic last night. I want to touch on both teams, which one's heading direction. Ravens, they might win the division now. Oh, Pittsburgh, you had your shot and you blew it. So, last night, I predicted that game 33-17, thoroughly-handedly, the Ravens would swamp that ass of Miami. I was right. Now, I didn't think it would be to that level of beatdown last night. Now, Ravens, I think a lot of times last night I was kind of flipping back and forth. I was listening to Dayseeker's new song, which, by the way, Cry Out a Coffin. Go look that up if you guys are into rock music. That is a fucking full-fledged banger. Absolutely fantastic. I love Dayseeker. My buddy Jason Lewis, I want to give a shout out to him. When I worked at Walmart DC with him, he's into that kind of music. I've fallen in love. They got a couple bangers I just absolutely love listening to. Throw it on repeat. That's one of them. So last night, Ravens got off the schneid. They're 3-5 now. They have been impressive. Now, I'm going to call spade a spade here. Okay? They are 3-5 now. Now, they still control their own destiny. They cannot lose any games from here on out. And I will say this, their next couple games, Vikings are struggling. They might get blown out the stadium in Detroit this weekend. Don't be shocked if that happens. It could be 31-17 or 42-17. It has that kind of making of that kind of game in Detroit on Sunday. Because the way Detroit's playing, especially on that four-field home turf, and I've been there, that crowd noise is raucous. It's locked, rocking, it's rolling. Detroit Rock City, baby. You know it, I know it. They're going to be rocking. And I'm thinking about this. They played Minnesota coming up. Then they got the Browns. And they got the Jets. It's kind of this easy slate now for the Ravens. And they're getting most of their guys back. Lamar's back. Kyle Hamilton's back. They got their guys back. And I just feel like they're moving in that right direction. In Pittsburgh, you had your moment. You had your shot. Now, there's still a lot of room to grow. A lot of season left. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. But I'm looking ahead going, Ravens might come back. I mean, they could get on a roll here, and I feel like they will, especially with number 8 at quarterback. And say what you want about the Ravens, how they've kind of blown it in the playoffs, and yada, all this stuff. All I know is this team, this culture fits that city. And the blue-collar mentality with the blue chip prospect with blue-collar mentality, that fits. And I'm watching Baltimore. Listen, I'm not a Raven fan by any means like Max Lawson. He's my guy. But I respect the hell of the Ravens. Every time the Raiders play the Ravens, I go, it's gonna be a slobber knocker kind of game. Now, we've had some success against the Ravens. They've kicked our ass. We've beaten them. It goes both ways. But I will say this. Last night is what great defenses do and what great teams do. They are willing to adjust on the fly. Just like the company Apple, right? I cannot love some of their stuff. They might be weird. Who cares? All I know is they put out a great product. iPhone, Apple Watch, bang, 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 bang. They see a problem, they adjust it quickly. Ravens defense. Beginning of the season, I went, this ain't good. This ain't Super Bowl worthy. I look up now, Roquan's back, Kyle Hamilton's back, Van Noy's back. 16 points allowed last 2 games. Now, granted, I will say this. They have played Caleb Williams and the kind of inconsistent Bears offense. And they played Miami with Tua turn the ball over at quarterback. So I'm not expecting much. But the way that they were able, Miami was taking control last night in between. They were coming up and down the field on them. And the way that defense tightened showed me that this team is made of championship stuff. Now, they haven't won a championship with Lamar at quarterback, with John Harbaugh and the crew. And there's always been pressure. No question about it, they've underachieved. But I will say this, in terms of operational, in terms of situational, in terms of coaching and front office and everything else with the Ravens, they are exceptional. They're like the Green Bay of the AFC. They really know what they're doing. I'm watching last night, and I got to tell you this. Malik Starks, I feel like I was watching Ed Reed back there. I really did. On that interception, I watched the hips move. DB's coaches teach that. I watched the eyes. I watched everything like that. Fantastic. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, that's not normal, okay? It's like when I see freak show acts, right? Like, the whole, like, guys are dressed as women. It's weird, you know. I'm not going to get into it. But it felt like that last night watching Malik Starks. I go, oh, well, that's different. I'm watching that last night, and that was my first thought. I went, they might have the next Ed Reed. Now, that's too high to praise, but I'm saying the skill set and the way he gets in and out of breaks and the movement and all that, I was like, fantastic. Awesome. And then you get Mark Andrews clicking last night. Derrick Henry got 100 yards. Now this feels like the Ravens that I know and love, the Raven Nation that I knew last night. And they kicked the Miami's ass, which we all know they are soft as Charmin, okay? I'll get to them in a second. They got issues. But the way that the Ravens played last night, hey, AFC, we're coming. Yeah, you're sleeping on them. Watch out 3 weeks from now. I think Baltimore's going to go on a tear here. You just watch and wait, because I have that feeling they will. So the Miami Dolphins last night, whoo, that was bad. Mr. Mike McVape was on the sideline last night. Woo, Mr. McVape. Yeah, Mr. Hand in Pocket. Oh, I got my play sheet here. Nah, bro, you're not a head coach. You're a candy ass. You're a coordinator. And that's okay. Some guy, I've been saying this forever. Some guys are meant to be head coordinators. Some guys are meant to be head coaches. He doesn't have a presence to him. You got to have a presence. Like, I walk at Mike Vrabel, Dan Campbell, presence, alpha, big dudes, man. And I look at, when I see Tua in a room, I go, is he an accountant? When I look at Turber, I go, whoa. Look, it's like that scene from Major League, you know, where Charlie Sheen as Rick Vaughn walks into the spring training and the Cleveland Indian coaches go, look at this fucking guy. That's what I feel like with Herbert. And what's crazy is that the Dolphins had a chance to take Herbert, which is blowing to me. And yet they didn't, because their GM, who, as I got noted today, he got fired. Woo! Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Yeah. Raise the roof, Miami. You got let go of your GM, which was long overdue, because Chris Greer has done a terrible job. Jesus. Terrible job. I mean, he has given bad contracts to good players. It just has been awful. And this Dolphin franchise, I mean, when was the last time they won a playoff game? It was the year Attitude Era was involved. 25 years ago. So, you know, and they given even the good players they played are flawed. Tyreek Hill old and expensive and too many problems off the field. You know, Tua, he's a good player. He's not a scrub, but you paid him like Josh Allen, he ain't it. Put him in the cold weather. Ugh. And I just don't know what Miami. And there's no identity. What do you want to be? Like, you have this 4x1 track team, which is fun and it's awesome, but yet you don't have a great offensive line so that it doesn't mesh well and develop. And then your defense, which I'll give you credit, you're playing your ass off. You know, it reminds me of those Brian Flores defenses. I mean, they're playing their ass off. They're playing with their hair on fire. They're flying around. They're trying out there. But when your offense, you know, can't keep drives going, your defense, as good as it could be, and now Miami's not far from away the defense that I saw at Brian Flores, but I'm watching a defense last night that keeps playing with their hair on fire. They're playing hard. They're playing tough, playing smart. And I'm watching last night, and the offense can't do anything. Now, I love their weapons. Etienne's a stud. I like Waddle. I like, Dolchich from UCLA is a stud from the Broncos. They got him. I'm watching Miami. They got some pieces I like. But it all comes down to the quarterback. And you pay Tua, you're kind of stuck with him. Now, I said this last year, you got to start all hot guns ablazing and win a lot of games early. In Miami. Because you have to have home field advantage or else you're screwed. You're not winning on the road. You can't win in cold weather. I saw it in Thanksgiving. I saw it in the playoff game 2 years ago. I've seen it. You're not equipped to play in cold weather. Now, this was the Kansas with Dan Marino teams and all that. I got it. But I also think there's a psychological thing, I think, to me, when I look at these Miami teams. And you're kind of on an uphill battle, I would say, to getting an elite coach down there. Now, Mike McDaniel, the good news is the Dolphins, they fired the GM. They're keeping Mike McDaniel at the end of the year. That's great. Now, don't do the Raider thing and hire an interim coach. After 5 games, you keep the interim coach full term. Okay, it's a substitute teacher thing. It's not going to work. So, I do think the Dolphins, and listen, we could say what we want about Miami, and they're a shitty organization right now, mainly because you got McVape on the sideline. He's in over his head. Not all his fault. Chris Greer's to blame for this too. But I have a feeling that they're not impulsive, right? They gave Mike McDaniel a long leeway here. Okay, this is not Cleveland. This is not. I mean, it's not. They give you long leeways, right? Brian Flores had a long leeway. I thought they were going to let go of him after that 1-9 start. They kept him. I thought the same with Adam Gase. They kept him. So Stephen Ross is kind of willing to go, okay, I could kind of work through some things. However, what I mean by this is you've got an uphill battle. What I mean by this is Miami's a very distracted city. It's a very distracted market. I get it. Beaches, hot babes, brunette babes, baby, all this stuff. And I get it. You got an uphill battle, brother. You really do. And you're in college football country. You got Florida. You got all these Florida schools down there. The high school talent. It's absurd. And then, on top of that, I mean, I'm looking around like, you got so much shit to do in Miami. When I think the advantage for cold weather teams like the Green Bays, like the Kansas Cities, like the Buffaloes, you're not worried about guys, doing stupid shit in the middle of the week. If I'm a Dolphin coach, my phone's on. I got to take Do Not Disturb off. When you go to bed, right, there's that DND button, the little moon button. You put that on DND, you sleep, you check on notifications in the morning. Well, I would not be that if I'm the Dolphin coach because it's always got to be on, I always got to get ding, 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 ding. So, with the notification factor. So, I do think you're in an uphill battle in terms of that. But you do need, I would say this if I'm the Dolphins, and there's been some rumors out there about Lane Kiffin, and I get it. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if Lane's going to take that Dolphin job. Now listen, you could hire Lane. Here's what I would tell Dolphin fan. Do not, and I'm talking to Tim Brooks and all my guys out there, do not lose that innovation with the Dolphins because they are innovative. I love their offense. I love the motion. They ran it. I think their motion like 79% of the time last night. I mean, I saw a stat. By the way, Amazon, great job with the, advanced stuff. I love watching that. That's a great feature. Shout out to NFL Memes for that because I never thought of that in a million years. It's been fantastic, and I've learned a lot. Some of my notes I've taken, the McVay offense, all that stuff, I've learned from it. It's great. But here's the thing with Miami. They do not need to get innovative. They need to get a tough guy. They need to get a Mike Vrabel, a Dan Campbell, dip in, badass. They need that kind of guy down there because they need a tough guy. They're a soft culture right now. They need a tough guy. They don't need to change the offense. Now, you're kind of screwed with Tua. Like, I would start over. Screw the dead money. I mean, get rid of Tua. I mean, listen, he's serviceable. He's like Dak Prescott. He's fine. It's not a scrub, okay? But I think it's time to pivot, man. Like, come on. I got to get a big arm quarterback down there. I have got to get a big arm quarterback. You get your GM. You find the coach. And you go from there. Because if I'm the Dolphins, and I thought this fact was interesting by Coward today, Lane Kiffin's in the SEC. He's had the number one offense. He knows SEC quarterback play better than anybody. So he can kind of give you nuggets. Now, do I think Lane would take it? I was thinking about this. I got off work tonight, and I was driving. I said this a couple weeks ago. I don't think he would. Now, I think Lane, Southern guy, California guy, likes the warm weather. It makes sense to him, right? It's not that far from, whatever. Drive distance doesn't matter. But he tried this with the Raiders. Now, let's call a spade. Not all his fault, the Raiders. They were bad. We were bad. Al Davis near the end. Whatever. But I do think Lane right now is in a great spot. He's the Messiah at Ole Miss. He's kicking ass. He's taking names. He's kind of no filter. You go to these big powers, you're going to have some problems because you got to kiss the ring a lot. And I saw a nugget today, and I'm going to rattle these off to you. So there's an LSU job open and Florida job for Lane Kiffin. And I want Lane to kind of think about this. So the Florida LSU job, since 2000, this is 25 years of data here. NFL players drafted, 163 for LSU, 141 for Florida. First rounders, 30 to 28, 30 LSU, 28 to Florida. So not far off, but LSU wins in that department. There's active NFL players. 46 from LSU, 34 Florida. Top 25 wins. Teams, top 25. LSU 70. Florida 54. So a 20-win increase, gap between it, right? National championships, they're kind of equal. LSU's got one more than Florida, 3-2. Okay. Conference championship games. Conference championships. LSU, Florida. 5, LSU, 3, Florida. So I just feel like if I'm Lane, you could stay at Ole Miss and be comfortable, and that's fine. But I would kind of be leery of Miami. I'm not saying he wouldn't take it. I don't think he will. He could try the NFL gig again, and by all means he could. But for me, I'm staying away. And I think if I'm Miami, you got to kind of do a reset. And listen, Mike McDaniel, I'm not putting this all on him. He's to blame, but he's just a weird fucking dude. He's just weird. Certain guys that just kind of, I don't know. There's something missing in the gene pool. But, I'm impressed by him. He's smart as hell. He's sharp. I would hire him as my offense coordinator tomorrow. But the coaching thing I don't think's working. And I think Miami's kind of become too much of a loose culture. They need to be tougher. But yeah, I think Miami's kind of in a shitty spot. They're kind of dumb right now. They are smart in firing the GM today and keeping Mike McDaniel to the end of the season. So that's a plus for the Dolphins. But you got a long way to go. And we shall see what happens down in South Beach, repping my Aqua shirt. So, hope you guys are doing well. Freaky Friday. My gabagool. Where my meatballs, eh? Dressed up a Sopranos character today. Wanted to represent the Italian culture. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Got more content. College football, baby. Adios. Godspeed.